What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Florida Prison Talk. I'm your host, Easy Win. And for this episode, real quick, happy holidays to everybody, man. Happy holidays to all my subscribers. I appreciate all the comments, all the people that subscribe, all of the feedback, all of the good comments, all of the bad comments. I can take constructive criticism real well, as long as it makes sense. I appreciate all y'all. And for this episode right here, I'm going to go over 3 of the most violent prisons in Florida from first-hand accounts from the Miami Herald, from the Root newspaper article, from first-hand accounts. I have my whole family, guys, because I had a guy like, you haven't even been to the Florida Department of Corrections. How do you know? I'm noticed from talking to different people, from reading. I have first-hand accounts from family, friends. I have family and friends that have been through the in and out of the Florida Department of Corrections. Everywhere from doggone Dade CI to Calhoun to Cross City to Sewanee to Sago Palm Reentry to Gulf to Putnam to Columbia CI to Baker to Okaloosa to Charlotte. All kind of prisons in the Florida Department of Corrections. I know females that been to Homestead, Hernando, Gadsden, Lowell. I didn't just wake up one day and say, hey man, you know what? I'm gonna make a YouTube page. My mother's been in jail, my sister's been in jail. My brother right now is serving a life sentence in the New York State Department of Corrections. I've always been interested in prison genre because I grew up in the projects. And I used to see dudes come home from prison all the time. And I knew they came home from prison because they had slashes on their face or they was really, really big. We knew that when we was kids in the projects that he just got home from prison. He just got home from prison. He's fresh. They done decked him out, the Timbos and everything. He got that look, that swollenness. I grew up around this shit day in, day out. So everything I'm spitting on this platform is facts. These are first-hand accounts. Everything I'm telling you, you can take it to the bank. And this is a fact. Now, for this episode right here, this is the worst, the most violent and dangerous prisons in Florida. Now, listen. People's definition of violent and dangerous prisons might vary. Everybody's prison sentence was different. But the reason why I say, because I could say one prison was dangerous from what I heard or whatever, and another guy could say another prison was dangerous. But he might not have been to the prison I'm talking about, and the people I talked to might not have been to the prison he was at. You get what I'm saying? But so when I say, just know that these ones I'm talking about are very dangerous places. And I've heard this from numerous people. I've been visited my brother at Indian River JIT camp. I've been to I visited my homeboy at Sago Palm up in Pahokee. I've been on that visiting floor in the Florida Department of Corrections numerous times. I'm not new to this, man. I'm true to this. I'm a real journalist. I'm giving out the best content and the most accurate content I possibly can. But for this episode right here, I'm going to go over from what I heard, from what I read, the worst prisons in Florida. Is number one is from first-hand accounts. I'm going to say is martinci. And the reason why I say martinci, I heard this from my brother-in-law. He was a CO at martinci. I heard this from my cousin's homeboy that came home from doing 21 years. That it was martinci. And I also seen on YouTube the dude Scott Whitney, who's serving 30 years on traffic and heroin, recorded his whole time at martinci. So I'm going to start off with number one is martinci. My cousin's homeboy came home from doing 21 years. And he had went to martinci towards the end of his sentence. So for him to say martinci was one of the worst camps, I definitely got to believe him because he been in 21 years. He was at martinci on his 18th, 19th year. So he's been through the Florida Department of Corrections for that many years before he even got to martinci. So I believe his word over anybody, if you ask me. And what makes martinci like a bad, it's a psych camp. It's a psych camp. And that's where a lot of lifers are, because a lot of lifers are on psych meds. It runs hand in hand. It is a psych camp. And from the videos I've seen and from the way my cousin's homeboy was talking, you behind the door. I don't think got dorms or not, but said it was cell house. I'm pretty sure they got a work camp and stuff. But he said he was behind the door, and he said the inmates there was wilding. It was stabbings every day. It was fights every day. Shit was going down. Like the video I added to this video with Scott Whitney. Look at that video, man. He said the guards are corrupt. They wasn't even checking to see if he was in the cells. Mold everywhere. People fighting, no repercussions. You know what I'm saying? My brother-in-law was telling me stories about how bad it is. He said every day it was popping off. Every single day it was popping off. And Martin County is not far from me. I can get to Martin County, man, in probably about 45, 50 minutes. Martin County is right down the way. But like I said, he said Martin CI was very bad. Let me tell you another one that's bad that's on this top 3 list that my cousin had told me was bad when he first came home. He came home like 6 or 7 years ago and he was saying this. And this still stands now according to the Miami Herald and the inmate mortality website from the Florida Department of Corrections. Columbia CI. I'm not sure if it's a psych camp, but I did a video on inmate violence resulting in death. And Columbia CI was one of those institutions where the 2 gang members went at it in the shower. And remember, the one gang member swung the lock in the sock. Go check that video out. Inmate on inmate resulting in death. He swung the lock in the sock. Like they say, you only get one good swing with it. He swung the lock in the sock and slipped. And the other dude came and stabbed him up. And he killed him, got on top of him, and just stabbed the hell out of him. It was 2 separate gangs. Because before that happened, it was beef that happened days prior to that. And the dude that killed him ended up beating the case. Got a self-defense claim. It was basically mutual combat. The way the summary read, the way the report read, they both agreed to meet in the shower. Probably said, tighten up, meet me in the shower. And when he swung that lock, he slipped. The guy stabbed him up. That happened. That was one of the incidents that happened at Columbia CI. But let me read this article at Columbia CI. Is an inmate named Larry Mark. He got strangled by his cellmate. The cellmate strangled Larry Mark, poked his eyes out, cut his ears off, wore his eyes around a piece of string around his neck. I mean, not his eyes, his ears, and went to the chow hall like nothing happened. Then he had his eyeballs in a cup, and he was deciding whether he was gonna drink the eyeballs or eat the eyeballs. And I'm willing to bet you, man, that this guy had to be on some kind of psych meds. I'm hoping y'all heard that. Gouged the man, strangled the man, gouged his eyeballs out, cut his ears off, wore the ears around his neck like a necklace, and went to morning chow like it was nothing. They redacted his name from the report. I'm not sure if he got convicted or not. You'd be surprised how many times these guys beat these cases, man. You will be surprised how much these guys beat these cases. That was at Columbia CI. And not to mention, a week prior to that, the Bloods and the Cutthroats got into an incident. No, correction officers noted that the incident occurred a few hours prior to another Thursday melee that erupted at the prison when 2 armed gangs, the Bloods and the Cutthroats, this is ironic right here, began cutting throats and spilling blood in a stabbing spree over contraband. A lot of stuff happens over contraband, man. A lot of things happen over contraband. Like I did that video of my brother when I told you my brother stabbed those 2 gang members. I don't know if I put the gang out, but I don't want to put the gang out because YouTube's policies and stuff. I got videos I had to take off and all kind of stuff. My brother stabbed 2 gang members. That was over cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? These gang members think that they in the gang and they got the number, they can just strong arm everybody. He had sold these guys some cigarettes and they tried to dead him on like, yo, we ain't giving you nothing. My brother had just started his sentence. So like I said, he had put his National Geographic magazines or whatever on, his hoodie on, went to the yard, and he already knew it was going to go down. And he stabbed both, gave him $1.50 over cigarettes, which was contraband because at the time the New York State Department of Corrections had banned cigarettes, so he got them in somehow. And everything seems to happen over contraband. Like that, like the incident I told you when the inmate swung the lock. When the inmate swung the lock and the other inmate got on top of him. No lie, I think that jump was over a honey bun. I know everybody's like, well, it's the principle that matters. I understand that, but it's still over a honey bun. No matter what, the incident started over a honey bun. Contraband is very big in prison. That's why I told you guys when I was in a military prison, they didn't allow you to eat in the dorm. Everything you consumed had to be in the mess hall. The closest thing we had with contraband was stamps. That was our currency, stamps. And the stamps was ink printed on the envelope. So basically you was betting envelopes. Because the stamp, like I said, was ink printed on the envelope. You couldn't get doggone oodles and noodles and honey buns. You had to eat what was in the chow hall and you done. We ate dinner chow at 4:30, 5 o'clock. After that, you went to bed at 10. You were starving. But it kept the peace, though. It kept the only commissary you had was toothpaste and the way the military prison works, you're not going to go hungry. You're not going to go without. you're not gonna go without. They're gonna make sure you got it. You're gonna get it from somewhere. But yeah, those are the Columbia CI, Martin CI, and this third one is Okeechobee CI. And put in the comments if you guys have been to any of these facilities and if you agree with me. Put in the comments if you guys have been to any of these facilities and if people are like, okay, yeah, bro, right, or nah, bro, I've been here and this one right here is worse. Put in the comments, but this last one I'm going over is Okeechobee CI. I've heard about all the Panhandle ones, Jackson CI and all of that. I'm pretty sure I'm talking about from what I heard. I can easily say, okay, yeah, Jackson CI, I'm talking about from first-hand accounts what I talked to. Okeechobee CI is definitely one of the worst. I heard this from numerous people. I used to visit my homeboy at Sago Palm. That's out of Pahokee. Okeechobee CI is about 45 minutes away. So a lot of the inmates from Okeechobee CI will be at Sago Palm. Sago Palm is a reentry prison when you're getting ready to come home. A lot of those guys from Okeechobee would come to Sago Palm and tell my homeboy stories. He would tell me on the Vizzo. And a lot of the guys at Sago Palm will get in trouble and end up going back out to Okeechobee. But like I said, Okeechobee, they get it in, it goes down to Okeechobee really, really bad. I know somebody that I grew up with that was getting ready to be a guard, and he was they assigned him to Okeechobee, and the shit was bad. I'm not even sure if he's there anymore. Shit was really, really bad out there, man. It was going down. Like, the violence was going crazy. And I have somebody else I know that I know really, really good. Don't want to say the relation, but I know him really good. He got hit up at Okeechobee by the Chicos. This was over drugs. I don't know if he took the drugs and this was the get back, because he had put in a lot of work in the Florida DOC already. He had put in a lot of work. He was well known. He was big. He was getting it in. So this probably was some of that get back, but it was over drugs. Had took something from him or deaded him and said, fuck, you ain't getting it back. Something like that happened, but they almost killed him, but he came up out of it. Matter of fact, he's home now. But so Columbia, Okeechobee, and Martin CI, from the reading and first-hand accounts, is probably some of the worst prisons, the worst violent prisons in the Florida Department of Corrections. Hey, make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button, man. I really appreciate everybody tuning in, man. I appreciate all my subscribers, man. And I wish everyone a happy holiday, man. I might go live tomorrow, and but give me some feedback in the comments, man. Let me know what y'all think about the page so far, the channel, and let me know what y'all want to speak about. And let me know what kind of interviews you guys want to see. What's it want to see? The itty gritty stuff? What kind of interviews do you want me to do? Jit camp interviews, adult camps? What do you guys want to hear? I'm at 1,000 subscribers now. I'm about to start doing some real good interviews. I just got this place. I'm renting out this office. I'm renting out starting on January 1st. I'm gonna be doing my interviews at. Let me know in the comments, man, if you guys have been to any of these facilities. Let me know what you think about the video and give me feedback on what you guys want to speak about. I appreciate y'all tuning in to another episode of Florida Prison Talk. I'm your host, Easy Win.